and all wars are wars of belief. That's one of my number one personal guiding beliefs of my approach to politics. That all great wars are heresies.
Can I give a really great example of this?
Sure.
It's World War II.
Yeah.
Right. World War II is the ultimate heresy in liberalism. The liberals and the communists share the same goal, right? Their goal is to liberate man from the unchosen bonds of society, bring him about into the end of history where there are no unchosen obligations. Both liberalism and communism share this goal. This is the purpose of the state, right? The liberal state and the communist state justify themselves both through the same telos. They both use the same rhetoric. They both use the same moral values. And the fascist state takes the liberal state and says, no, actually, we don't have to do that. And that's why Winston Churchill's like, fuck, this has to die, this has to die, this has to die.
Yeah.
And this is why Adolf Hitler is the great evil. That the liberal state is justified in bringing about the end of history. That's the only justification it has, right? And if it's turned to any other goal, fascism. But this is, and that's what it is. It's the great heresy of Nazism within the liberal institutions. Churchill was writing about Hitler and Nazism before World War II started. He saw in them a fundamentally non-liberal issue. Obviously, he wasn't a fan of communism or anything like that, but he took particular exception to Hitler because I think in him he saw that the liberal justification of the state, which is to essentially do the things that they think will bring about as close to the end of history that is possible, that the state's power can be put to a different goal entirely. Churchill isn't wrong to describe what Hitler is doing in that way as something genuinely monstrous, and to approach it with the zeal of a crusader, right? Because everyone's like, well, why couldn't they just make peace with the Nazis? It's like, because this was a fucking heresy, right? And it was the same crusading spirit that got into the liberal West regarding the Nazis, because they were like, but that's not what the state's for, on a spiritual level for them.
But that to me only makes it more like the American Civil War, because people were asking Lincoln the same thing about why couldn't you make peace with the Confederacy?
Yeah, why are you such a spurg?
Yeah, because if you did, then then America wouldn't be like wouldn't be the empire of liberty across North America. There would be rival interpretations of the good inside the North American continent, which is like unacceptable.
And moreover, you're essentially morally validating your antonym. Right, you're saying actually not just a different way of life is possible, but the opposite way of life is just as morally valid as our way of life, because we tolerate it, right? And if we tolerate it, then we must have some acceptance of it. And this is why, you just can't accept it. So they have to go until the very end of that enemy regime, literally because it's a heresy.